Welcome back to Supreme Court. In the news once again for what could be the wrong reasons after an upside-down American flag was spotted in the driveway of Justice Samuel Alito not too long after the 2020 election. There are calls tonight by many Democrats for the justice to recuse himself from January 6th and election-related lawsuits. Let's talk about it tonight with my guest, Democratic strategist and public interest attorney Kaivan Shroff, up late with me tonight on the Final Five, wearing a festive hat.
Well, most importantly, we gotta wish my favorite host, Jim, happy birthday, buddy. But yes, you are absolutely right that the court is once again back in the news, and not for a good reason.
Yeah, so this broke last week. This all has to do with what happened in the aftermath, the Stop the Steal movement, where it was an upside down American flag. And to be fair, the justice said, yes, that was in my driveway. My wife was upset with an interaction with some people who didn't like Donald Trump, so she put that up in anger, and we took it down a couple of days later. But a lot of people, as you know, think the damage has been done here.
Absolutely. And I think it's critical to focus on the timeline here, which is that less than 2 weeks after an insurrection, a sitting Supreme Court justice who claims to care about the Constitution, and I mean, that is supposed to be their whole thing, had an upside down flag supporting those who wanted to overthrow our constitutional democracy. So it is absolutely disgraceful. It's the latest development, I think, on what we've seen year over year under Justice Roberts' failed leadership as Chief Justice to allow this sort of behavior.
As we look at some of the reactions so far, I mentioned there are 50 Democrats in the House that have signed on to a letter wanting him to recuse himself. But on the other side of the coin, even within the Democratic Party, Dick Durbin, head of the Senate Judiciary Committee, says there's nothing to be gained by holding hearings on this. Senator John Kennedy, who we know always has some colorful illustrations of what's going on, says, I'm going to read the quote here. "You come home and tell my spouse that she is not entitled to her beliefs. If you do that, I see a murder in my future." It seems like they're saying, look, this is the justice, this is the wife, not the justice with these thoughts.
Oh, God, blame the wife. I mean, it's his house, right? He's willing to go back into that house every day with an upside down pro-insurrectionist flag. That's disgraceful, and I don't think anyone's buying that excuse. I mean, he's a Supreme Court justice. Imagine if Jill Biden went and put out some flag, even if she held a flag as a joke, right? That was, offensive in any way. They'd be running with it. They'd be putting that on Biden. Let's not kid ourselves here. But I think the bigger issue is it's not about recusal here. I mean, they should be impeaching this guy. They should be hauling him in front of everyone for hearings. Absolutely. I think, Dick Durbin has been a great public servant, but he has shown over and over again that he is missing this moment. And it's been longer than a moment at this point, right? He's not the right guy for this job. If he hasn't watched what they did with Hunter Biden, where there was nothing, and they are on air over and over for years admitting there is nothing, but how they focus that and keep that in the story and play political games, there's a lot of there in this case. This is not a hoax. This is not pulling at, straws in any way. These are serious things that these justices have done. And Alito is writing op-eds. I mean, he's unhinged.
Okay. You and I have talked before about the Supreme Court, and when things came to light after Clarence Thomas and the gifts that he had received, and, there have been in the past, the likes of Sotomayor and RBG, who had book deals, which are not, to be fair, they're not on the same plane. But there's been so much made about the impartiality of the court and the perception of such. These are, though, again, I think anybody could look at this. These are two completely different situations here.
Well, I think that's part of the harm of what the New York Times and the Washington Post have done with their both sides coverage, because look at what happened with that Sotomayor case. They actually had to write a follow-up article debunking their original reporting, because all that happened there was that her administrator asked the library or school that she was speaking at how many copies would they like for the book talk that they are given. And then, yes, they did ask that if you are going to wait in line to have your book signed, that you do in fact have a book. That is incredibly different than, supporting an insurrectionist while you're ruling on the cases related to them, taking, billionaire gifts and luxury trips, getting paid by law firms like Justice Roberts' wife was. So all of this is absolutely, being muddled by the mainstream media in a way that's so offensive. And to talk about the media a little bit further, right? I mean, imagine if we had a committed core of journalists covering the Supreme Court, one of the most important institutions in the country, and instead we're getting this story years and years and years after it happened. It's a disgrace.
Kaivan Shroff up late with me tonight on the Final Five. Hat in tow. Thank you for the birthday wishes. And
Happy birthday, Jim.
Thanks for gifting us with your presence here on the show tonight. We're back after this.